Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are now in lesson 6, joint operation, part 1. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand the basic introduction to joint concept. Up to now, your experience using SQL from lesson 1 to lesson 5 has been limited to querying and returning information from one database table at a time. This would not be a problem if all data in the database was stored in only one table. But from data modeling, that separating data into individual tables and being able to associate the tables with one another is the heart of relational database design. Fortunately, SQL provides join conditions that enable information to be queried from separate tables and combine it in one report. Before we go further, let's take a look about qualifying ambiguous column names in join operation. We need to use table prefixes to qualify column names that are in multiple tables. We need to use also the table prefixes to improve performance. Instead of full table name prefixes, we use table aliases, which will keep the SQL code smaller and uses less memory. We use column aliases to distinguish columns that have identical names but reside in different tables. You will understand more about this when we do the example of join operation. Let's consider this situation to understand why join operation is needed. Just recently, after years of trying, Ali is now in a relationship with his colleague. His father is curious about his new partner and asks him about her little information. Did she work in the same department as you, son? Then Ali answered, No, Dad, she works in Department 30. Do you think that Ali's father will understand what Department 30 is? Why did Ali give that answer to his father? The reason is, when Ali checked the employees table in the database, there is only department ID, not department name listed. Where can Ali get the department's name data? Correct, it is in department table. Means, to answer his daddy's question, Ali needs to fetch data that are coming from two different tables. What is the operation needed here? Yes, join operation. You need to know that there will be a lot of tables in our database. Before we can join the tables, we need to make sure there is a relationship between the tables. You can check your data modeling for more information about this. When there is a relationship, there must be a foreign key. Foreign key is referred to the primary key. This foreign key to primary key reference is what we call as common attribute. For example, employees and departments table can be joined directly by using common attribute named department ID. Just now, this is the SQL queried by Ali to get his partner's department. Select department ID from employees where last name equals to Baida. But if Ali wants to know the details of department name of his partner, he needs to query select department name from employees E, departments D, where E.department ID equals to D.department ID and last name equal to Baida. First, we will take a look. Baida is in department 30. Since we know department ID in employees is referring to department ID in departments table, now we can get the answer of department name of what Ali is querying for. When the answer of query is written, Ali will answer his father in details. She works in purchasing department, Dad. Then Ali's father now can move on to another question to investigate more about his son's partner. That's what parents will always do, isn't it? Now, as a computer science student, what you need to investigate is the structure of this SQL. If we take a look, E after employees and D after departments in from clause over there is what we call as table alias. In the select clause, why do we put qualifier in the department ID over there? Since we know that department ID exists in both employees and departments table, we need to give the Oracle Server instruction that we want to display department ID from employees table. That's why we put E.department ID. But if you want to display department ID from departments, it has to be d.department ID. If you take a look, why employee ID and department name doesn't need the qualifier? Because employee ID can only be found in employees table and department name can only be found in departments table for this joint operation. Let's take a look at where clause. This is what we call as joint condition. Department ID from employees is equal to department ID from departments. This is to indicate that these two tables can be joined directly through a common attribute. Let's take a look at this SQL, which the table aliases are not used. If you take a look, a full table names are needed in qualifier of select clause and a full table name also are needed in the where clause. Your SQL is longer than the previous one. As we know, we need to keep our SQL code smaller. Hence, table aliases are very important. If you realized, there is no join keywords being used in our example here. In Oracle, we can use join keyword to solve the same problem. Let's find out in the next part of this lesson. I guess that's all for now. See you again in the next part. Stay home, stay safe, keep washing your hands with soap. If there's no water supply, then use your hand sanitizer. Thank you.